How's it going on? It is your boy, it is Jason, and it is Monday here in this beautiful South Korea. It's a little bit kind of humid because we're going through monsoon season, but other than that, so today we're going to talk about an ebook that I'm working on called The Five-Story Building Passport Bros Korea. Now, why am I writing this book? Main reason is because after watching that Dr. Umar interview and then making my response video about it, I felt like he made a lot of good points. Black men should be leading in their communities. And even though I agreed with quite a bit of things that he talked about, however, I didn't agree with his idea of black men being cleanup men for people who made their own bad decisions. I don't agree that black men who have resources, who has intelligence, who have the know-how and the capabilities to mentor, build, and lead, I don't believe that they should have squandered or waste their skills and resources on people who probably won't even respect them anyways, because they didn't respect themselves in making sure they made the right decisions in their mates. They didn't respect themselves in ensuring that they had a good environment for their offsprings. Now, for the brothers who are going overseas, who want to look for a wife who's going to be all the things that they want a wife to be. However, I do believe in those black men who are going overseas. You need to start building communities. And to build a community, you need 5 things. You need your economics, you need your politics, you need your justice, you need your media, and you need your education built that you built. Not that you go to these countries and you depend on systems that other men built. You make your own infrastructures, you build your own networks that you build, that you lead with other black men, however you see fit. But we need to stop being these men who just go along with the flow. We're just the cool, swagged out dudes that people like to have around us. And we need to be more like builders and leaders in these communities that we're going into. We need to elevate from just being passport bros and evolve into being passport men who are building and leading in their homes first and in their communities second. So I'm writing this book, The Five-Story Building Passport Bros Korea. I'm focusing on Korea as my main talking points, but I do believe this can be used anywhere else overseas around the world. Now, why is it called a 5-story building? Well, originally the idea comes from Dr. Claude Anderson, who wrote the book Powernomics. This is a brilliant man. He even came up with the idea for building self-sufficient communities. So I decided to take his 5-story building philosophy or whatever, and then tailor it for South Korea. And this could be used in Thailand, Philippines, Colombia, wherever black Americans want to go. Now you're probably wondering, why am I focused on black Americans? Because in the book, I'm going to talk about especially when we start off with first economics, the black Americans who we need to really be getting on board are those of us who are veterans, who separated from the military or who retired from the military, because that group of men have income coming in USD. And for those of us who live overseas, we understand that to be paid in USD and living in some of these other countries, your money goes further. So I'm focusing on Black American men because I understand Black American men, because I'm a Black American man. I can't speak to the Ghanaians. I can't speak to Nigerians. I can't speak to Kenyan men because I'm not from their communities. I'm not part of their culture. I am from Black American culture, so I'm going to speak to those men. Now, does that necessarily mean that men from other from the rest of the African diaspora, or even some brothers from the Spanish and the white European European origin, they could take notes from this too? But I am going to speak from from a place that I can speak from, to make sure I do my best in really articulating and being clear in my messaging to the community that I'm trying to empower here. So this book will be like a tool. I have spent 10 years in South Korea. Those first 10 years, of course, I was Sergeant Holmes. I was in the United States Air Force. Did a short stint as a contractor, and I'm still here in South Korea. And I do firmly believe, since we want to live overseas, we need to stop just being the fun black guys. We need to stop being the swag black guys. I'm gonna tell you right now, it is very embarrassing when you see a group of our black brothers over here who are cool, who are swagged out, but the moment they get a girl pregnant, they dip, right? The moment they come into financial harm or financial struggles, they don't know how to make money, right? But they cool. They the ones you see in the club buying the VIP. They're the ones popping bottles and whatnot when it's just just too flashy. We need to grow up. We need to elevate. But I understand why it's probably difficult, because we don't really have too much of a guidance to help us move in the direction that I'm talking about. So this book that I am going to write will help give us that guidance, where we can still be those cool, swagged out dudes, but we ain't worrying about nothing, because we have infrastructure in place, we have good financials coming in, we have businesses, we have education, we have media, all in there. Now, there's probably people already in your communities that you are in who's probably doing different aspects of what I'm going to talk about in the book. And if they are doing those things, then those are men that you should be wanting to bring in to this, make a book club, go over the books. Hey, look, I see you're doing media. I see you're doing education. I do business. Let's come together and let's build a community, because a community requires a slew of different things in order for it to be self-sufficient. So that's gonna be my book. Now, right now, the book, I'm gonna release it. I'm using Gumroad to publish my book on, and I'm gonna release the book on December 11th. You can pre-order the book if you want. Right now, you can pre-order it, and then on December 11th, I'm gonna release it for everyone to be able to read it. Now, in the meantime, if you want social support, please pre-order it, share it, let everyone else know, hey, this is what's coming out, Passport Bros. This book is gonna, I'm gonna try to, because it's a lot, right? And I actually been working on this for probably like a little over a year now, just this this ideal in general. But I kept getting hung up on it because it's so big. And then recently I was like, look, let me niche it down. Let me focus it on a small group first, and then doing that will then allow it to be easier to scale it up. So then I said, boom, let's do Passport Bros Korea. All right, so that's all I have for now. Tune in next week, and I'll start breaking down the actual summary of each of the sections of the book, and then later on I'll do like a video kind of summarizing what each section is going to really be about. Probably after I write a few pages and then talk a little bit about it, but not too much. I don't want to give too much away in the book, but trust me, this is going to be a good thing. It's going to be a great read. It's going to be awesome for people who are, especially black men, who are going overseas. And because after a while, hanging out, partying, having fun, drinking liquor, getting with the chicks, that's cool and all, but after a while it gets old. You're like, this is, it gets boring, it's tiresome, right? So that's all I got for you now. All right, talk to you later. Make sure you comment, make sure you share this book market, do whatever you got to do, share with your mom and them, and I'll talk to you later.